Wow, I got to be honest with you. U-Boat has just dropped a development blog that I used to think that I was pretty on top of things with the news, but this dropped on December 1st, and I can't believe it's taken me this long to see it. But they have dropped a development blog for the Type 9 Flotilla headquarters and missions, and it is a long one, and we're going to dive into it right now. Just to start off, they say, "Dear Captains, we are back with a new development blog. This time it's a long one. As always, we've been working hard on the next update for U-Boat. Let's dive into the details." Again, I've said this in the past that I really do love this company because this game released quite a few years ago, and they've always been on top of it, trying to make it better and better as time goes on. I've never felt like they've actually just forgotten about the game. They've always been dishing out and putting out new content, which is awesome. So really love the company for doing this. I'm really excited for what is coming next, and we're going to dive right into it right now. So they go in to talk about the Type 9 and state that they are wrapping up work on the Type 9 family, which will consist of 3 variants. So we're not just getting one Type 9, we're getting 3, which is pretty awesome. So they're going to have the Type 9A, which is available from the beginning of the war at 1939, and it's unique in that it has 3 periscopes. Then they're going to have the Type 9C, which has an extended range over the 9A and is the main workhorse of the Type 9 line. So this is going to be the brute getting out there and dishing it all out. That might be the one to do right there. I don't know. We might start a little new scenario from the 1939 and working with the Type 9A, but I'm excited about it nonetheless. And then we go into the Type 9C-40, which has even greater range and an upgraded conning tower by default. So these are the largest U-boats in the game with the highest range and vastly more living space. This makes them the best choice for distance operations. So I imagine it's going to be distant operations in terms of being able to stay out there longer and obviously be able to travel further. So trying to get from the Atlantic or over in Europe, off the coast of Europe, and trying to do those long missions over to the Americas, we will be able to do that with the Type 9, which I haven't been able to do yet in my gameplays, but I really want to. So I am excited. But here are a few of the photos that they have introduced in terms of the Type 9 and how it's going to look inside. And it looks great. Looks absolutely phenomenal. The living quarters for the crew looks a little bigger here in the torpedo stack, and the engines are looking wonderful. Even the kitchen seems to have gotten a little bit of a facelift compared to what we're used to for the kitchens, but graphics are looking phenomenal. They've done a great job. Next, we're going to go into the Flotilla headquarters. This, I never really thought of, honestly. I think I've always been thinking about gameplay and gameplay improvements out on the open sea with the U-boat and the physics of everything that's going on. I've always wondered about that and wanting improvements in that, but I never actually sat there and thought about the Flotilla. And it's funny enough because they go on to say, "We've finally managed to improve the part of the game that, to us personally, has needed improvement the most for quite some time. We've reworked how port stays feel and function in many ways." And you can see the pictures already right here that they provided. It is drastically improved compared to what we are going to be used to. Already some graphical enhancements, here with the captains and officers. I imagine now we're actually going to see them talk to us. Full animation, of course, facial animation, so that's going to be brand new. They say you no longer have the same group of officers following you wherever you go. Instead, each port has its own Flotilla headquarters where you can interact with its staff. So already that's pretty cool. Every single different port that you arrive at, they're going to have different characters greeting you there, which adds to the immersion. You're not just used to seeing the same officers, and it makes you really just kind of want to get to port, quickly regroup, rearm, and get out of there. You don't really ever spend too much time in the port because you've seen it 1,000 times if you've played this game since its release or even recently. So the added immersion is going to be nice, being able to meet new officers and going about their missions. The command structure is now represented more faithfully, with each flotilla having its own flotilla commander. I mean, they've really expanded upon this, and it's looking great. Even to the point where they've added to the flotilla accommodation buildings, saying they differ between regions. For example, in France and Malaysia, they are requisitioned hotels, while in Germany, they are purpose-built military facilities. And you can see the picture here, so I don't know what this is going to entail. If this is just added immersion or if there's going to be something that's clickable inside these rooms, but nonetheless, they've gone the extra distance. They've thought about it and they're adding it, which is really, really nice. And lastly, they go in regarding flotillas. After visiting each new flotilla headquarters and being welcomed by its flotilla commander for the first time, you will also gain access to a quick port activities menu. This menu will appear by default after docking at your port with each subsequent time and makes things convenient. Next on the list, which is very exciting as well. It's all very exciting, isn't it? But this is exciting. Added missions. We've invested more time into the upcoming long patrols that we first described in a previous devlog, namely the Cape Town Group, Wolfpack Elsbar, and the Wolfpack Seehund. These are going to be much more story-rich missions with a lot happening along the way. Super exciting. So much longer missions, maybe multiple steps that you have to complete in order to achieve the mission, but they're going to be very immersive, story-rich. That's exactly what we need. Instead of just the everyday, go out there, get this amount of tonnage, go patrol this area. It gets very old after a while. So now that they are adding more story-rich missions that you get to immerse yourself in, that's going to be great. Very much looking forward to that. You will have the opportunity to participate in historical events such as rescuing survivors of the Laconia incident, meeting the surface raider Atlantis, performing a reconnaissance mission of St. Helena, and more. So much more that's being added. Here are a few more images that they added in the missions tab, which is, it's looking great. They've also stated that once you arrive at the patrol destination, you will find yourself in competition with other commanders for the highest GRT score in the pack. So finally, we're going to have a purpose of this. We go out there and we do really well most of the time in getting the gross register tonnage up and coming back with high numbers. Now we'll actually have bragging rights. What is that going to entail? Is that just bragging rights, and does that open up more avenues for missions or more points to put in to prestige or your tech tree? I don't know, but it's pretty cool that we're gonna be fighting for dominance. Who's the best captain out there in the Atlantic? Very well done. Another thing that they've gone on to add in this update is also explaining that the world map is going to have some additions to it. So they've added several more allied bases to the game in the Atlantic near the Cape of Good Hope, which is going to be the new area that we're going to be able to patrol, I'm assuming, on the long missions. That'll be St. Helena Island, Ascension Island, Azores Air Base, and the Port of Durban. So look forward to that. They have done some graphical improvements. This is awesome, right? New faces. While developing officers for the flotilla and missions, we quickly noticed that it was time to add some more faces to the game to make characters more distinct and recognizable. We've added 11 new face types and 3 new complexions. It's now also possible to choose your eye colors. Below are a few examples, which here they are. Looking great. It's clearly quite different. So we're gonna have hair colors, different facial expressions, eye color. They've added quite a bit. So the very distinct characters, again, just adding to that immersion so you're not looking at the same crew every time you start a new game. But now let's get into the exciting stuff. Now, it's all exciting, I know, but for me in this update, these are what I'm most looking forward to. And that is going to be our sea shader and clouds and fog simulation, and again, more realistic wave spectrum. This is going to make it even better, more immersive, and this simulator is about to jump a few levels. So in the sea shader and clouds, we've made various improvements to the sea shader and clouds to make the environment look more realistic. The sea now uses more modern shading formulas, while clouds now interact correctly with the atmospheric scattering, making them much more visible in the sky than the previous version. So it's going to be absolutely beautiful out there, picturesque in some areas, and depending on the type of weather, along with the ocean. So for me, that's going to be phenomenal. And as well as the fog simulation. So this is a big thing. It used to be that fog, it was either you could see a few hundred yards in front of you, maybe 100 feet, or you could just see for ages. They never really quite dialed it in, but now they have. And here is a photo to show you just what the new fog is going to look like. Looks super eerie. You can see that destroyer out in the distance. Love it. This is exactly what I want when it comes to the fog. It's going to be able to change up your strategy, and you're finally going to be able to make strikes under the cover of fog and not have to sit there and get super close, putting you and your crew at big risk. But they say in previous versions, fog had a strong tendency to exist only in one of 2 states. Well, I just said this. It's either full fog with a visibility of a few hundred meters or no fog at all. So in the new patch 2026.1, you will often encounter the entire spectrum. In addition, fog is now simulated more faithfully depending on the date and location. For example, summer months in the Arctic have numerous foggy days, while fog is less common in the warmer seas. I love it. Looking forward to it. It's going to add, again, to that immersion. And lastly, we're going to be going into more realistic wave spectrum. They say for a long time, we were quite sure that we had made some mistakes in the code that computes the spectrum for sea waves. After years of glancing at it from time to time, we finally found the culprit. A simple line of code was missing, which prevented waves from dissipating into negative energy. This adjustment eliminates some waves that shouldn't exist and makes the overall visual experience more convincing. While we were at it, we also made the swell a bit more intense. Just going into the immersion, making this a real simulator, a true simulator, and trying to build on it step by step. Love that they're doing this, and I'm really looking forward to this. The last bit of things that they've added, which are great, is going to be the tanker interactions. It's now possible to stop tankers and send crew on them, just like merchant ships. I didn't even know you couldn't do that yet because I've never tried to board a tanker, but that's going to be added. More realistic engine animations and gun animations. Guns no longer instantly rotate to their target, but instead rotate over time as they should. And we've also improved shell splash effects. So the big question is when is the release date? When is this coming out? We need to know. We need it right now. We do have to wait just a little bit longer. It's not going to be too long, but it's coming out January 29th of 2026. So it's really just around the corner. Give it another month and a half and we are on it. We're going to have a brand new Type 9 that we're going to be able to play. New scenarios, new missions. It's going to be very, very good. If you are brand new to this game and you're trying to get into it now, time to start getting ready. Get into the tutorials. There are numerous tutorials out there that are phenomenal. I have a tutorial of myself that I'll put at the top of the screen here if you need to look that at. But get ready. Start learning the game because it's about to get very, very exciting soon. But that's going to do it for the developer blog. If you guys have enjoyed it, please hit the like sub button so we can get this out so many people know about this news and we can get it out there. And likewise, leave a comment. Let's talk about what you guys are hoping for in the future after the Type 9 devlog update. And also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing because we are going to be playing this as soon as it releases January 29th, 2026. Until then, though, I hope you guys have an incredible day. Take it easy, all right?